Hello, trading is closed on June 12, 2018. Yesterday we said because of this wall there was a good likelihood we could gap up, which we did, but we said the pattern was negative and that even though futures were up, and I made the call that unless we overtook this high promptly, lower prices should print. They did print, fill the gap, but they didn't stick. We have the same pattern today as we had yesterday. A gap up, a new high, and an inability to hold either of these highs at the close. Now time hasn't run out because if we gap up and promptly take out this high and ideally this one tomorrow, which is possible because of a new higher target, unless that happens, the pattern is negative. But if we gap up and clear this resistance, because these aren't just targets, they're resistance areas, unless we clear it early, lower prices should print. Now tomorrow's pattern, I believe, is the one with the early low and the late high, has a tendency to rally all day, close near the high. If it is a negative day, which it should be if we don't clear these early, if it is a negative day, you usually see the drop early in the first 1 to 2 hours. So if we're flying and going up in the early trade, then we've overcome resistance. But if we're in trouble early, which is possible even though futures are up now, we could have a double top. And the fact that we've made a double top and undercut the intervening low basically requires us to go over these highs to invalidate the pattern. Now, during the day, MEJT said ultimately lower price it would print, but it said the drop was false. It gives us a target of 27.8776. Well, that's your target, which is less than a handle away from the close, but it's also resistance. And that's not all the resistance there is. Here was the closing pattern. Here's your stilt. Here's your stilt. Here's your inverted diamond on stilts pattern. The origin of the left stilt is resistance. Now it's possible to go over it and hold that level as support. It has happened. But the majority of the time, the vast majority of the time, the first challenge of the origin of the left stilt holds. So even if we hit the target, you're at resistance. Here's the Fibonacci grid on the daily chart. You start back here in the spring of 2017, draw it to the all-time high. You see the perfect hit at 61.8, 50, 23.6, and we're within just a few points of the 14.6. And ideally, since this is the highest level, ideally you'd like to see that hold and see this high hold. If things are as negative as I think they are. It isn't an absolute requirement, but if we held resistance slightly over today's high, or if today's high held, it would be further evidence that this long rally wasn't enough to clear this intervening high. So we have a crucial time early tomorrow. If we take out resistance and keep flying, the pattern usually rallies all day long. But if there's early weakness and a big drop early, which is possible even though futures are up, we are getting awfully close to a resistance level, which should hold if my scenario is correct. And that's today's call.